My name is Jackson Thorne, but around here, folks just call me Jack. I spent 22 years serving Texas as its attorney general, fought off corrupt corporations, busted criminal networks, wrestled with politics till I was bone tired. When I stepped down, all I wanted was quiet. Peace. So I bought this ranch, 40 acres of rolling Texas hills, and came here with my wife, Eris. Cows, chickens, a red barn that would make Norman Rockwell proud. We had it all. Or thought we did. That peace. It lasted 11 months. Then Evelyn Reed showed up. HOA president from the Oak Hollow community down the road, hair stiff as steel wool, a voice sharp enough to peel paint. Her kingdom was one of identical beige houses and precisely manicured lawns, and apparently, my red barn was an eyesore against her earth tone aesthetic. Her words, not mine. Now here's the thing: I don't live in her HOA. Never signed in. My property's outside their jurisdiction, legally and clearly. But that didn't matter to Evelyn. Not when she saw something she couldn't control. First came the letters, fines for imaginary violations, warnings about unapproved structures, threats about livestock. I laughed. Tossed them in the fireplace. But she escalated. Her little army of clipboard soldiers started showing up at my gate, demanding access for compliance checks. I told them to get off my land and take their nonsense with them. That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. One Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. sharp, 2 sedans rolled up my drive. Out stepped 3 men dressed like cops, but not quite. Everything about them looked off. Wrong shade of blue, holsters still stiff from the box. One of them, tall, with a cartoon villain mustache, announced I was under arrest. Said I'd violated community safety codes and refused HOA oversight. Behind him, a kid nervously fumbled with cuffs. "You sure about that?" I asked. He backed back. "You're resisting. This is your final warning." Then Eris stepped out onto the porch, her voice tight. "Jack. What's going on?" I turned my head just slightly. "Get back inside, honey. They're not real." The moment she shut the door, I leveled my eyes at them. "You're impersonating officers on my land. That's 3 felonies, minimum. I suggest you get back in your clown cars before this gets worse." They didn't budge. But fate stepped in. Sheriff Cole Matthews' real badge, real authority, pulled up in his black Ford Explorer. Got out slow. "Come. All presence." "What in God's name do you think you're doing on Judge Thorne's land?" he asked, cold. Their fake bravado melted like cheap wax in the sun. Within minutes, Cole had them cuffed in his cruiser. The whole scene, ridiculous as it was, might have been the end of it. But then the video surfaced. Some delivery guy caught it all on his dashcam, fake cops arresting retired judge. That's how it was framed. It went viral. 500,000 views in 24 hours. News vans parked at my gate. I got calls from reporters, morning shows, conspiracy nuts. Our private war was now public spectacle. Eris thought it was over. She said, "They poked the wrong bear and got burned. They're backing off." But I knew better. They didn't run. They went quiet. That night, I pretended to crack. I made a call to a friend loud enough to be overheard. Said I wanted to sell the ranch. Said the pressure was too much. I even named a real estate agent. The next night, a fire inspection team came knocking. 3 men. Flashlights. Official-looking truck. Said they were there for a wildfire risk assessment. I let them in. Smiled. Played dumb. Watched as 2 of them wandered off on their assessment. Watched one linger too long near the hallway smoke detector. Watched the other stroke the spine of a law book like he was checking for secret compartments. They weren't inspecting. They were bugging the place. Once they left, I searched. Eris found the first one tiny, almost invisible, tucked into a law book's leather binding. We didn't speak another real word inside that house. Instead, we went out to the barn. Shut the door. No bugs. No ears. There, I told Eris everything. The trap I'd set. The bait I'd laid. And how I needed to spring it. We didn't have to wait long. Malcolm Nevers, week-old treasurer of the HOA, met me at the feed store. Shoved the recorder into my hand. "I'm out," he said. "Can't do this anymore." Back in the barn, I played it. There she was, Evelyn Reed, talking about subdividing my land, selling it off. Gloating. But then she mentioned a name I hadn't heard in years. Julian. He'll know how to handle the legal transfer quietly. My blood ran cold. Julian Vance. My protégé. My student. The lawyer I mentored, taught everything. He had betrayed me. Gave them everything: my property, my finances, my history. Then Izzy, my lawyer, called. Her voice shaking. They showed up at my daughter's school. Took pictures. "I'm out, Jack. I'm sorry. But I sent you everything I have. The password is Redbird." When I opened that file, it was all there. Offshore accounts. Shell companies. Millions flowing through HOA development funds like water through a cracked pipe. It wasn't about a red barn. It was about laundering cartel money. My ranch wasn't an eyesore. It was a dam. Blocking their flow. An heiress. She sat beside me as I pieced it all together. Then she said the one thing that changed everything. "Jack, before I was your wife, before I was a nurse, I was a forensic accountant. DOJ. I took down the Vegas cartel. I found the ledgers. I buried that past. Until now. It hit me then. This wasn't my war. It was hers. They weren't after me. They were after her. They came that night. In the storm. Headlights in the rain. Pry bars at the window. We fought. In the dark. Room by room. My old shotgun. Her SIG pistol. They breached the kitchen, I fired. They climbed the stairs, she dropped one with a single shot. Then came the bullhorn, Dia. Thorn. Mateo Vargas sends his regards. Surrender and your husband leaves. They want HOA. They want neighbors. They were cartel hitmen. The final move in a decades-old war. And just when it all felt lost, sirens. Flashing lights. Sheriff Cole and a full SWAT team stormed the yard. Shots fired. Men coughed. Screams in the night. And then Silas Kane, the enforcer himself, coughed and smacking, looked me dead in the eye. "You can't run from the past, doctor. It always finds you." He was right. But here's what he didn't understand. We didn't run. We stood our ground. The FBI took the files. Arrests were made. Evelyn Reed, Julian, Selous, all of them. An heiress. She wasn't just my wife. She was the woman who brought down one of the most sophisticated laundering operations in the country twice. Now we sit on the porch swing, watching the red barn glow under the sunset. The quiet has returned. Not the fragile quiet of avoidance, but the armed quiet of survival. So tell me, if someone tried to take everything from you, would you fold? Or would you fight? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear your story.